Welcome to Intralogistics Insiders, brought to you by Sinaos. Explore the latest trends, challenges, and innovations in intralogistics with industry experts. Welcome to the Intralogistics Insiders podcast. We have today Jesus Ortiz, CEO of Orbelgrupo. So welcome to the podcast.
Fine, thanks.
So tell us a little bit about Orbelgrupo. What is Orbelgrupo doing?
Yeah, Orbelgrupo is a company specialist in intralogistics services. Was founded 42 years ago. It's a familiar company based at north of Valencia, a region called Castellón.
Okay. What is the business model of Orbelgrupo?
Yeah, we focus on advice companies in two main services. One is business model, and the other is optimization, process optimization.
And how did these two business models get into the same company?
Yeah, because the company, like I said, started 42 years ago, just with the services for the customers and clients. And then 3 years ago, we start with consultants in logistics, robotics, and business model.
Okay.
Always with industrial companies.
What about the process optimization vertical? What kind of support do you provide to your customers?
Yeah, we arrive to a company and just study the process, then design the layout, study the optimization of their logistics, and use the robotics just to make it.
What is the main goal that the companies that work with Orbelgrupo are looking for?
Yeah, they want to study the best situation of their cost and the optimization of the process. In all times, they've got problems with the human resources.
Okay. Because what kind of industries are you working on right now?
We started being a specialist in tiles companies because in our region the main companies are from this sector. But now we work with automatization companies of fabrics, different. But the main stuff is logistics, distribution, or tiles companies.
Okay. What is the main challenge that these companies are facing when they want to optimize their logistics?
Yeah, they always want to optimize the workflows and the cost of their logistics. And we arrive there and just study the data and try to find the technology that optimizes this process.
Is it common practice in this type of companies to integrate automation right now, or is this something that is slowly progressing?
No, it's absolutely slowly progressing.
Okay.
We start with this dream 10 years ago, and we are starting to make the proper projects since now. Okay. Because at the end, it's really difficult to change, and the minds are not so easy.
What are the typical challenges that they have, for example, in tile companies that they want to automate or solve?
Yeah, they used to work in exterior camps areas, and now they are trying to automatize the warehouses. And we used to work with trans elevators or with semi-automatic machines.
Okay.
Since 1 year, we start with the AGVs, just optimizing the transport inside the companies.
Okay, because right until now they have been using traditional forklifts, I understand.
Yeah, they used to use the forklifts, the traditional forklifts. Then we start with warehousing forklifts, and now they are investing a lot in automatization. I think it's because the cost of the people.
Okay. Right now, what percentage do you think is automated and what percentage is manual labor?
I said manual labor is around 80% and 20% automated.
And how is the integration between both?
The integration is not easy because sometimes you have to change the mind of the customers. But at the end, I think should be 50% of each one. Now it's 80-20, but should be 50-50 in some years. It's my view.
Why do you need to change the mind?
Yeah, because it's in our region, there's a lot of familiar companies, and who manage these companies, each people age it, but it's changing the second generation, and second generation comes with more information, and it's thinking the automatization solves a big part of the problems.
But it's not a challenge to be integrating manual operations with automation, for example, with AMRs?
Yeah, of course. It's because one is the work of with humans, and the other it's a work with systems. And it's to manage, for us to manage people, it's really difficult because since now we work with people and now we work with computers. Okay. And I think this is the challenge.
How is the integration of AMRs improving this operational efficiency in these companies?
I think it's quite good to invest in AMRs if you start having like volumes of process. But since now, it's not as easy to find the opportunity to make it.
Okay. What is the kind of size of company that could benefit more from this integration of AMRs?
I think it's companies around 200 people, since 500 people.
Okay.
The tiniest are not as good for us.
What are the roles that mobile robots have a bigger impact in those companies?
I think the sectors, you ask about the sectors. The sectors.
Also, the specific applications inside the warehouse that the robots have bigger impact.
Yeah, of course, in logistics, and when you have to manage the lorries and exterior logistics. Like they said, we used to work exterior with forklifts, and now they are building big warehouses. It's where we put the automatization and robots just to optimize the process.
Okay. When you make an integration or you do an implementation of automatization in these companies, how do you measure success?
I think it's really, really important just to find the good person, because sometimes the people that has managed the implementation is not prepared for do the project. And I think the exit of the project should be easy if you find the good person with good mentality, open mind.
Okay. But what does it mean, success?
Success is to have the good ROI that you said before, and to have the good time. Because sometimes in automatization, we've got a delay of 6 months, for example, and we try it at 1 year. And it's unbelievable just to lose 6 months to make the implementation.
As you said, like 50 to 80% of the operations are manual.
Yeah.
Do you see a trend to digitize also these manual operations, to integrate them with AMRs or mobile robots?
I think that you have to make before is just to study well the process, and then to use the data and the IoT just to manage these robots. Because where is the really difficult is just to find the technology that manage the robots with the data. And I think always I said it's a business of informatics, or for informatics, because the robot it's just a commodity at the moment. You have to find the technology and the informatics that tries to communicate both.
The software, right?
Yeah.
Does the companies that you're working for example, in Tiles, have the experience to be able to manage these software implementations?
I think there's a big opportunity there, because the problem is they've got the good big teams of informatics, but have no the formation for this.
Okay. Let's go back to the implementations that Orbelgrupo is helping their customers do. What are the biggest challenges that you are facing to do these deployments, for example, or these integrations?
It's to find the implementators, because it's really difficult to find people that implement the robots. It's for us in our region, we've got close from there, we've got the University of Valencia and Castellón, but sometimes they are really young people, and it's really difficult to find these people to work there or to work abroad. Last year we worked in 14 countries, but now we have no projects in the region, and these people has not the ambition just to travel and work abroad. I think it's all my partners have the same problem.
So there's a lack of skilled people to do this. Okay. How do you overcome the resistance from the workforce when implementing new technology?
It's the problem we've got when we have a project. It's at first they are really annoyed with the decision of the CEO of the company, but at the end when you demonstrate it's all is going on, I think we have no this problem. But at first it's difficult to change the mind of these people.
Are they afraid, or what's the issue?
They're fair, and they think it's not as good for them.
Okay. There is more and more a need for flexibility. Why do you think it's crucial?
I think it's crucial. Again, I said the same. It's the mind of the people. It's of course the robots works 24/7, and people works 8 hours, and it gives you the flexibility that needs the companies at the moment. But not always it's possible to make it.
When making integrations, what do you think is the current state of standardization in the industry of mobile robots, of intralogistics, and where do you think it's heading?
Yeah, it's crucial that you said the moment, because when we arrive a company, we've got different robots, different technologies, and different needs of communications. And I think that we have to solve is just to integrate all these languages, because each brand has just topics that don't let us just to integrate the robots.
Do you have any project where you have been able to integrate different robot brands, and how did it go?
Yeah, we've got at the company, at Orbelgrupo, I don't said, we've got the logistics area, then we've got the mobile robotics area, and then we've got the fixed robotics area. And sometimes we have to integrate 3 parts of the company there. Yeah, of course, in tiles company or pharmaceutical companies or in motors companies, we have to work with 3 technologies.
What are the disadvantages of not integrating to a software level?
If you don't integrate, you can't organize the company, and you can optimize the cost, and you can optimize the process, ni the workflows, ni the layouts, ni nothing. It has no sense. It's just the only option you have.
Let's go back to ROI and cost management. Okay, so I want to discuss about the business case about automation projects.
Yeah.
Okay, how do you justify the cost of investing in new automation technologies?
Our clients always ask the same question. They want a ROI less than 2 years. And it's really difficult to find these projects, but we used to work at least that 3-4 years. This is usual. But they always give you the topic that they want to avoid less than 2 years. But I think it's too quick.
Okay. Are there other metrics that they use?
Yeah, they use the metrics of the process. They use the data of the process. They use the EOT data of this process. But I think they try to find the economic ROI.
Are these type of companies used to access this data and really use it?
I think it's another big opportunity. It's just to manage this data, because always we find the KPI of the process, optimization of the process, logistics or robotics, but we don't use this data as we must.
What do you think should be the perfect scenario for the future?
The perfect area should be a tool that let us just to make the connection of all the robots and all the technologies, and then like a Power BI with the dates and the data of the process. But it's not as easy to make this. But I think the vision should be the data manage the fabrics of the companies.
This podcast is brought to you by Synaos, the all-in-one intralogistics platform, orchestrating material flows with mobile robots, forklifts, and people to overcome cost pressures and skilled worker shortages. Visit synaos.com to learn more. How do you ensure the success of a project in the long term? Because I see many new integrations.
Yeah.
But what happens with a long-term project?
Sometimes we've got big and long problems, because when you start a project, all seems it's by control, but in long-term projects, we have to decide each day with different and different situations. I think it's just to have a client that has the same vision than the provider, and to choose the good brands for the project. It's essential. It's because of this we said we are intralogistic consultants, because we choose the best brand and the best project for each project. We think we are integrators, not just people that integrate. And we are consultants because we choose the right robot and the right solution for each process.
So next topic is about scalability. Where do you see, especially in the projects that you are working, what are the standards that you see that are going to rule this integration of robots, manual labor?
I think we have to find the projects that think that it's like a transformation of the industry. It's not just to make an implementation in one solution. It's not to implement the solution, to make the training for the people, just to change the mind to how to do the things. And these themes are essential to have the success in these companies. I think the scalability just is the part of this process. It's not. I think not the scalability arrives at first. It's at the end. It's just the reflection of a good project. But you have to have a long-term vision for that you try.
What happens, for example, at one of these tiles companies? You have implemented, imagine a fleet of robots that are moving the tiles, the blocks of tiles, the pallets of tiles outdoors. Yeah. Now they have, for example, a new requirement. They need an AMR that needs to withstand, 800 degrees because it's going close to the ovens.
Yeah.
And there is not a standard robot, or maybe it's from a different manufacturer with a different communication protocol. How are you solving this right now, and how do you believe it should be solved?
We use the relation of ARME. Because in ARME, you've got integrators, you've got developers, you've got brands, you've got people from technologies, communications, and at the end, we try to have a view or a draw of the problem, and then with partners of ARME, we go there. It's ARME, it's association with cooperation. It was formed with this value, and for us, it's really important to work with the partners of ARME.
What do you think is the one thing that matters most to future-proof intralogistics?
I think it's to be clear that you want, and then to choose the solution with a good advisor. Is that I think so.
But requirements do not change day to day.
I think people's of one activity, it's easier than the others. But it's not as easy to start working with companies that are close-minded.
Do you think hardware is what is going to make the difference in the adoption of mobile robots? Or is it software?
Software, of course. I think hardware should be a commodity. It's the Chinese technologies are arriving really hard here in Spain. We start working with Swiss companies, then we start working with German companies, but now all the products are quite similar. I think the difference is the fleet management and the software.
AMRs or AGVs?
I think so. It's the same thing. I've got always this. For me, it's AMR and AGV. It's different technology with the same solution.
What do you think are the biggest myths about automation?
I think they are starting big companies like today is here Toyota that have the technologies just to these big projects, and at the end, the companies like us should be integrators of these companies, because we have not the power just to increase as quick as increase the market. Other thing that I said before, it's with ARME and the cooperation with the people that was from ARME, we have the muscle just to, with the big companies, integrate these projects.
Where do you see the future of intralogistics?
I think it's a sector where is essential the software and the integration with the brands, because the integrators like us are integrators, but we have not the power to develop the robots. I think we have to trade with the robots and just to have the technologies and the knowledge just to implement these solutions. But there's a lot of profiles that should be software profiles.
Going back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Where does Orbelgrupo start? What's the origin?
Yeah, the origin was a small garage. It was formed 42 years ago for my dad, and it's a familiar company. I'm second generation. I just started working there 20 years ago, At first, I work like salesman, then commercial director, then I work in financial services. After that, like a project and director.
Did you have a background in engineering or business?
Business. I study marketing and business, but I should work like engineering.
Do you see it sometimes as a stopper to not have such a deep technical understanding or not? Or is it an advantage?
I think not, because I've got a background of project manager.
Okay.
And I think with this, you
have a higher vision of
I've got projects. A higher vision.
You know how to choose the right people.
No, and I've got the right people in my team. Yeah, all my team should be more engineers and software engineers than people from economics.
Was there an inflection point at Orbelgrupo?
Yeah.
Or has it been like a steady growth?
No.
The years?
Since COVID, we started increasing 2 digits. We are 50 people in 2020, and now we are 110 people in 224. But all this is difficult to manage, because at first we are mechanical staff, and now we are engineers staff and economics staff, and we have a lot of tensions with human resources. All is changing really quick.
What is the area where you see that Orbelgrupo really provides the biggest value to their customers?
I think it's like advisor, because we've got transversal knowledge based in 42 years of experience. We work all the types of companies, like tiny companies, multinational companies. We have a team that talks 6 languages. We have experience to work 20 years abroad, and we can go with them and increase these companies and our company, of course. I think we have to choose the good customers and increase with them.
Okay. Where do you see the future of Orbelgrupo?
My vision is to be one of the main players in logistics, intralogistics services around Spain. At the end, last year we worked 80% of the projects abroad and 20% at Spain.
Oh.
Yeah, but I should like to be a referral in my region. It's Comunidad Valenciana, Levante, or Spain. Yeah, I work a lot abroad, and I would like to work more local. It's like to be a global company with vision, global vision, but we working more local.
How did Orbelgrupo's business model evolve?
Because we start with fleet management of machines. After that, we found the division of logistics services. 5 years later, we found robotics engineering services. And since 3 years ago, we start working like consultants and advisors. And always said the same. We start working like active company, and now we are a service company. It's a different company. It's more global, and it's different. And we've got our model we call Orbelgrupo 360 degrees, where we manage the fleets of the machines. We advise in robotics and logistics, and then we train the personnel just to change the mind to make the business.
Okay. Thank you for joining the Intralogistics Insiders podcast. We hope to see you back soon. Thank you very much.
Thanks at all.
Thanks for listening to Intralogistics Insiders. Stay tuned for more insights and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite platform.